Number 10. The Bridgewater Triangle. The Bridgewater Triangle is a smaller, lesser-known version of the Bermuda Triangle. It's a section of land about 200 square miles inside southeastern Massachusetts. It's a triangle between the towns of Abington, Rehoboth, and Freetown. All kinds of wild and unbelievable things are said to occur inside the Bridgewater Triangle. The area is basically a paranormal vortex with everything from alien sightings to poltergeists, great balls of fire flying through the sky, and even Bigfoot-type creatures lurking in the wilderness. Oh yeah, and there have been Thunderbird sightings here too, with people claiming to spot flying creatures that look like pterodactyls soaring across the sky. Even the Norton Police Sergeant, Thomas Downey, witnessed these incredible mythical birds in the sky. To be honest, there are so many supernatural occurrences here that it's hard to believe more people don't know about it. Not far off Route 24, creepy and horrific mutations and alleged animal sacrifice were discovered in the Freetown Fall River State Forest. For many years, it's been believed to be the site of strange rituals, not just animal sacrifices, but also human murders that were possibly committed by satanic cults. Sadly, the forest is also the site of many suicides, which adds even more to the sinister atmosphere. People claim to see the ghosts sitting on rocks, and sometimes even dancing. There are legends of Native American curses, and some even say there's a swamp monster called the Pukwudgie. Nobody knows why this particular part of Massachusetts is so creepy, but if the locals are to be believed, the entire area is a hotbed for the supernatural. Number 9. Hegra is a mysterious ancient city located in the desert north of Saudi Arabia that has gone untouched for thousands of years. Giant boulders the size of buildings and rocky outcrops beautifully carved and with classical-style columns poke out of the sands like lovely scattered seeds. Hegra was once a major international trading hub, but it was abandoned 2,000 years ago and hasn't really gotten much attention since. It looks so similar to the more famous destination of Petra in neighboring Jordan that you might not even be able to tell them apart. But this shouldn't be a huge surprise. After all, the two sites are only a couple of hundred miles apart. They were also built by the same people. It was the Nabatean kingdom who constructed both Petra and Hegra before they vanished from the pages of history forever. The Nabateans are one of the most intriguing civilizations that most people have never even heard of. They were master merchants who dwelled in the desert and controlled all the trade moving through Arabia, interacting with the kingdoms of Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Syria, along with all the other major players in the Mediterranean. They were the #1 suppliers of frankincense and myrrh, which was highly prized throughout the world for religious ceremonies. However, they were destroyed in the 1st century AD by the expanding Roman Empire. Eventually, over a period of just a few hundred years, the Nabateans went extinct and their ancient desert cities, like Hegra and Petra, were abandoned. Number 8. Haunted Hawaii. Hawaii is not just a gorgeous island paradise, it's also a little bit haunted. Two of the most haunted places in all of Hawaii are located around the area of East Oahu, and it's very likely you have never heard of them before. One of these haunted venues is a bridge, while the other is a popular mall. According to Oahu locals, it's the 16th Avenue Bridge that's haunted. The haunting started after a little girl was killed in a hit-and-run incident. Now people who walk near the bridge in the early hours of the evening claim to witness a little girl reaching for their hand, trying to make it safely across the bridge. But by the time they realize what they're looking at, the little girl's haunting apparition is gone. The second haunted place is at a mall in Kahala, where visitors sometimes witness a ghost with no face loitering in department stores and even bathrooms. Employees at the mall have reported that the ghost asked them for help, but when they turn to answer, she has no face, and then she's gone. And so you see, Hawaii is more than beaches and sunshine. It's also full of ghosts and horrors. Did you ever think such a wonderful place could have such terrifying features? Next time you visit this tropical paradise, are you going to check out these places? Let us know in the comment section below. And if you're liking this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Number 7. The Egyptian Black Desert. The Egyptian Black Desert is one of the strangest and most unexpected places in the world. To be quite honest, it almost looks like the surface of Mars. The desert here is an expansive landscape of black sandy plains, black mountains of dust, and strange black rock formations. And while the desert isn't home to any mummies that we know of, it does have a deeper history, geologically speaking. It goes back 180 million years to the Jurassic period, when the desert was beneath the sea. But when intense volcanic activity started changing the Earth, this land rose as a type of volcanic crater covered in veined marble. It was the volcanic activity that turned the landscape black. But other than rocks and sand, there are some unique things to be found here. The remains of one of the largest dinosaurs in the world was found in the Black Desert 20 years ago, called the Paralitanstromery. This incredible beast was upwards of 59 tons and roughly 85 feet in length. There could be other titanic dinosaurs hidden here under the black sand, but nobody has really done much to look for them in recent years. Number 6. Las Pozas. Another one of the weirdest places that you most likely never even heard of is called Las Pozas, located in the thick Mexican jungle. It's a surrealist garden that was dreamt up by Edward James, an eccentric collector of art from the 20th century. When he arrived in Xilitla, Mexico, near the end of the 1940s, he was captivated by the amazing, lush, and beautiful landscape and decided to build his home there. He also went on to create a unique sculptural heaven in the jungle that some have compared to the crazy surrealism of Salvador Dali's artwork. Columns that look like giant flowers, dramatic gates, Gothic arches, pavilions with multiple levels, and lovely spiral staircases to nowhere float in mid-air as if they were an invitation to the horizon. Today, the sculpture garden remains standing in the jungle, seemingly defying all architectural labels. It's a strange glimpse of both fantasy and reality, a place you might accidentally mistake for the Garden of Eden. It's definitely not somewhere you want to miss on your next trip to Mexico. Number 5. Shahi Kila. The Shahi Kila was once a majestic palace in India, located near the Tapti River in Burhanpur. Almost nothing remains today, except for the palace's crumbling ruins. Locals call it a labyrinth because the architecture is so strange. It was originally built by the Faruqi rulers, who dominated land from 1382 until the Mughal Empire assimilated them in 1601. The main attraction of Shahi Kila is the royal bath, which miraculously is still almost entirely intact. It's said that the emperor's wife took luxurious baths here in water scented with saffron and rose petals. The ceiling has ancient paintings on it, with one of the paintings supposedly being the inspiration for the Taj Mahal. In fact, the Taj Mahal was supposed to be built in Burhanpur, but it never happened. The chosen site is still a vacant plot of land beside the river, not far from the ruined palace of Shahi Kila. Number 4. Bet Gurvin Maresha. Bet Gurvin Maresha is a mysterious archaeological park that encompasses 3 ancient sites: that of Maresha, Bet Gurvin, and a mysterious fortress used by the Crusaders. The region was first settled during the Iron Age, but later emerged as a major city. Alexander the Great conquered Maresha, which was then colonized by Greek soldiers and left under Hellenistic rule. In the year 40 BC, the Parthians showed up and destroyed the city of Maresha, which ultimately led to the establishment of Bet Gurvin as the main Jewish town in the area. When there was a Jewish revolt against the Roman rule in AD 66, and the inhabitants of Bet Gurvin were slaughtered one by one. Still, the city bounced back, reestablishing itself and growing until the 7th century, when the Muslim forces showed up and took the city over. But it was soon annexed to the Kingdom of Jerusalem. A Crusader castle was built in the year 1134, and soon after, when the area fell under Muslim control again, the castle, the city, and everything else was burned to the ground. As you can tell, this place has quite a bit of history, but surprisingly, there's actually a lot of the old structures left. Archaeologists have even discovered a labyrinth of subterranean caves covering an area of 741 acres. Many of these caves date back to the original settlements at Maresha, with at least 3,500 rooms, tombs, and chambers hidden underground. Number 3. Seir Gibi. Seir Gibi is an old Roman fortress that you had no idea even existed. It's located in Anglesey, Wales. You see, before the Romans made it all the way to Wales and conquered it, Anglesey was a sacred site for the Druids, who held important religious ceremonies here. As the Roman forces were displacing people by the thousands in the United Kingdom, many of them ran away to Anglesey. By the time the Romans finally got to this place, it was full of mystical Druids and escaping migrants from all over the island. Some historians believe that the Romans went all the way to Anglesey simply to eradicate the Druids, while others say they went to pillage the copper mines. Whatever the case, they established a large fort in the year 77 AD. It was huge, able to hold 1,000 auxiliary infantrymen Nobody knows exactly what went on in the years after the fortress was built, other than that the Romans plowed through Wales and took whatever they wanted. Then, by the year 393 AD, the fort was abandoned and the Romans had all but left. What do you think really happened here? Number 2. Recopolis. The Recopolis is located near the small Spanish village of Zorita de los Danes in Guadalajara. It's one of the only archaeological sites in the entire world that has ruins left over by the legendary Visigoths, the defeaters of the Roman Empire in 378 AD. The city of Recopolis was built in the year 578 by the most important Visigoth monarch in their history, King Luivigild. The Visigoth kingdom at the time went all the way from the edge of southern France to the Iberian Peninsula. The city of Recopolis was to be made from scratch, a completely new city that would be the center of the new Visigoth Empire. It was complete with palaces, workshops, artisan stores, an impressive aqueduct system, and defensive walls, the works. But archaeologists don't know everything about the city. The problem is that in the year 711, Muslim forces invaded Recopolis and defeated the Visigoths. They then dismantled the great city and used the stones to build their own city a few miles up the road. Number 1. The Lost City of Tamao. Nobody really knows where the lost city of Tamao actually is. What we do know is that over 500 years ago, it became the first European settlement in Chinese history. The city goes back to a man named Jorge Alvarez, who happened to be immortalized in a life-size statue in the city of Macau, known as the Vegas of Asia. This guy is extremely mysterious, as is his fabled city. Based on what we know from historical documents, Jorge marked the first European settlement in China with a padrao tree in the year 1513. He planted this tree somewhere between Hong Kong and what is today Macau. But historians from all over the world have never actually been able to find the exact location of the marker. Some believe the original city was Tuanmun, while some say it's located in the far west of Hong Kong. One theory is that the tree was planted on land that is now occupied by one of the busiest places in the world, the Hong Kong International Airport. But regardless of where the city of Tamao stood 500 years ago, it's gone now. It was once a bustling city where East met West, allowing for seamless trade in a multicultural environment. Today, it's likely a ruin underneath an airport. Which of these mysterious places would you love to visit? Let me know your favorite in the comments below. And thanks for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit subscribe for all the best videos from the channel.